£22 and 40 pence. That is the entire gap between the full new state pension and the tax-free personal allowance. Just £22 and 40 pence a year, standing between millions of pensioners and a tax bill they never expected. And starting August 17th, that gap is about to catch a lot of people out. If you get the state pension, pension credit, or any DWP benefit, this isn't a warning about something coming down the road. It's already happening. Right now, letters are going out. Reviews are underway. New monitoring powers just came into force. And if nobody's told you what to look for, you could be caught completely off guard. Here's the thing DWP and HMRC won't tell you outright. This system runs on what you ask for and what you catch in time, not on what you're automatically owed or automatically protected from. Miss a deadline by a day, and you can lose money you were entitled to keep. Catch it in time, and you can often stop a problem before it becomes a debt.
There are 4 separate things happening at once right now. Let's go through them one at a time, because the third one is the one that's catching the most people completely by surprise. A new power that lets your bank flag your own savings account to the government without you knowing. Let's start with the tax letters, because these are landing on doormats as we speak. From the 13th of August, HMRC began mass mailing what are called PA 302 notices, Simple Assessment letters, to more than 1 million pensioners across the country. These are real tax bills, not scams. Here's why so many people are getting one this year. The personal allowance, the amount you can earn before paying any income tax, is £12,570. The full new state pension now sits at £12,547 and 60 pence. That's a gap of just £22 and 40 pence. Any extra income at all, a bit of savings interest, a small private pension, a part-time job, pushes you over the line and triggers a tax bill. Over 1.3 million of these letters went out last year alone, and the number keeps climbing because the state pension keeps rising while the personal allowance stays frozen.
If one of these letters arrives, open it straight away. The deadline to pay is the 31st of January, 2027. Miss it, and interest starts from the 1st of February, with a further 5% surcharge added after 30 days. If you think the figure is wrong, you have 60 days from the date on the letter to challenge it. Call HMRC on 0300 200 3300. And if you have savings sitting in an ordinary account generating interest, moving them into a cash ISA means that interest becomes completely tax-free, which stops this problem from happening again next year. Now, here's something that should make you angry, because it isn't fair and it's happening to hundreds of thousands of people. This year, research from the Public Law Project found that in 2023-24 alone, there were 686,756 cases of DWP overpayment debt that were officially recorded as the department's own error. Not fraud, not a failure to report anything, just a mistake made by DWP's own systems. And in the vast majority of those cases, the person is still being asked to pay it back. 30 charities, including Age UK and Amnesty International, have written to the Work and Pension Secretary demanding the law be changed so that people aren't forced to repay money that was overpaid through no fault of their own. That campaign is ongoing, but the law hasn't changed yet, which means right now, if that letter lands on your mat, you are still expected to pay. But here's what almost nobody knows. You have the right to push back. If you get an overpayment letter, you have 1 month from the date of the decision to request what's called a mandatory reconsideration, a formal review where DWP has to look at the decision again. If the mistake was theirs, not yours, you can argue that recovery shouldn't happen at all. And if paying it back would cause genuine financial hardship, DWP can write the debt off entirely, though they will never offer that themselves. You have to ask. 1 month. That's the window, and it's a real one. This next part affects far more people than most realize, because it doesn't just apply if you've done something wrong. It applies even if you've done nothing at all. In June 2026, the Public Authorities Fraud, Error, and Recovery Act received royal assent. Under it, banks are now required to flag accounts to DWP where the balance looks like it's crossed the savings threshold for means-tested benefits. For pension credit and housing benefit, that threshold is £16,000. From this month, that monitoring is being extended to existing claimants, not just new ones.
Here's what that means in practice. If you receive pension credit or housing benefit and your savings ever went above £16,000 from a property sale, an inheritance, a pension withdrawal, and you didn't report it at the time, DWP may soon find out through your bank before you ever get the chance to explain. So if any of this applies to you, any change in your savings or capital, moving house, being outside Great Britain for more than 4 weeks, or any change to your income, report it now, before the system flags it for you and calculates an overpayment stretching back months or even years.
This one story shows exactly how this plays out in real life. Joan, 74, inherited a small amount from her sister 2 years ago. It briefly pushed her savings above £16,000 before she spent most of it on essential home repairs. She never reported it because she assumed it wasn't relevant since the money was gone within weeks. Under the old system, that might never have surfaced. Under the new one, her bank could flag that balance to DWP without her ever knowing it happened. And she'd only find out when a letter arrived asking her to explain months of transactions she'd long since forgotten the details of.
Now, this is the change that affects the largest number of people of all 4, and it cuts in 2 directions. One good, one that people are missing entirely. Around 3.9 million people in England and Wales receive Personal Independence Payment, PIP. From June 2026, DWP extended the minimum gap between PIP reviews to 3 years for most existing claimants, aged 25 and over, rising to 5 years at their next review. For a lot of people, that's genuinely good news. No more being reviewed every 9 months for a condition that was never going to improve. But here's the part people are missing. This works both ways. If your condition has gotten worse and you now need more support than your current award reflects, nobody is going to ring you up and ask. You have to request a review yourself, or your award simply stays frozen at the old level for years. And if your circumstances have improved and you're now receiving more than your condition genuinely requires, you're required to report that. And if you don't, you're walking straight into the same overpayment situation we just covered, backed up by the same bank monitoring powers. If you're unsure where you stand, Citizens Advice can help you work through it before you make the call to DWP. So here's where all of this leaves you. HMRC is mailing tax letters to over 1 million pensioners starting this week. Open yours immediately, and you have 60 days to challenge it if the number looks wrong. DWP is still recovering overpayments, even when the mistake was theirs. You have 1 month to request a mandatory reconsideration if that happens to you. New bank monitoring is now live for existing pension credit and housing benefit claimants. Report any unreported changes now, before the system finds them for you. And PIP reviews have been restructured. If your needs have changed in either direction, it's on you to say so. None of this is designed to be simple, and no one is going to walk you through it personally. But knowing exactly what's happening and exactly what the deadlines are is what stops a letter from turning into a crisis. If you know someone getting the state pension, pension credit, or PIP, send them this. One conversation now could save them a genuinely difficult letter later.